Hello and welcome back to the part 2 of the Java series of Regrow Tech. I'm your host Duray Nayab and we will be taking into the next part of the printing statements that we were doing in our last session. Let's get started. So, in our last video, we were discussing about some print statements. I hope you guys remember. If you don't, we will most certainly do a little bit of a revision. So in the last class, we started off by learning the first few lines of Java code, and we discussed as to the lines in a Java program will always be read from the first line and from the left-hand side to the right. We also printed some statements like what happens if I go ahead to print, let's say something like this. If I want to print regrow, it will print exactly how it is because it is inside double quotes. And whatever is inside the double quotes gets printed exactly how it is. But if something is not written inside the double quotes, inside a print statement, can get a different kind of treatment. We will see that about that today. Now, another example of what we did in our last video was also when we tried to join these text with numbers. We were getting something of this sort. Whereas when we were joining the numbers in the front, it was getting added normally like 3 regrow 1 2. Now, as to why these are getting printed as 3, whereas this 1 plus 2 is getting printed as 12, was discussed in great detail in our last video. I hope you can check that out. So, in this video, we'll move further. So, we were talking about these double quotes, right? What if I want to print something in single quotes? And for those of you who are unaware, whenever we print or write something in Java in single quotes, it means we want to print a character. Also, there can be only one character written in single quotes. Let's say if you want to write like A and B together, as you can see, it shows there is an error, right? And it says invalid character constant. So if you can just write it in single quotes, that should be all. Okay. Now, if I print this, shouldn't be a problem really. It will simply print A. Then if I go ahead and print it or join it with other character, which is let's say B in our case, if I save it and print it, I'd get 131. Now, how that happened, right? A lot of you might question, oh my God, that was just a Googling. So let's see how on earth that happened. So for that, I'm going to take you to the whiteboard and we are going to discuss it there. So we have already discussed something in the last class that the Java reads the program or reads the statement from the left-hand side. So of course it will be reading system.out.println as something to be printed, right? And whatever is written inside the round bracket needs to be printed. However, when we write something in single quotes, it is a character, not a string. And if I join a character with a character, what happens is the character gets converted into its respective ASCII value. Okay. Those of you who do not know what ASCII value is, ASCII or American Standard Code for Information Interchange is a universally, you can just say, it is something that is universally accepted by everyone, right? A is under some number, whereas B has some value, right? So in the same fashion, ASCII value for A is 65, ASCII value for B is 66. And since they're joined, meaning added, you will see that 65 will fetch me 65 plus 66 will fetch me 131. And that's exactly why we were getting 131 as our answer. Okay. That is when we join a character which is in single quotes to another character which is in single quotes. Right? Now, let's go back and see what else can we do. So let's have some fun with this, shall we? How about I change this B to a string instead? Okay. Earlier, both were characters because both of them were written in single quotes. However, that's not the case now. Now we have changed it. Now, even though B is a single character, it is written inside double quotes. So Java is going to perceive it as a string and not a character anymore. Hence, this will happen, right? So the first one was a character, for sure, for sure. But the second one, since it was a string, it could not add the numbers of the ASCII value because B never got converted into its respective ASCII, considering it was a text. Hence, we got AB as the value. If I do something like this, so let it be as B, and let us put another double quotes and write something like this. So now I have this in double quotes, right? And A and B are in single quotes. Now, at this point, I would like for you to take a little pause and see if you can answer or think about what the output of this statement would be. Okay, I hope you have paused yourselves. Now, let's see what the answer is. So, the answer to this statement is 131C, right? Those of you who got these answer, congratulations. And those of you who did not, we will do better next time. Aren't we going to do that? Now, 131, how did we get that? C is quite understood. It is in double quotes. And we previously mentioned whatever is in double quotes, however it is, that doesn't matter. It gets printed exactly how it is, right? And earlier we were talking about ASCII values. So A and B, since they were both perceived as characters, they will get converted into its ASCII terms, respective ASCII terms, which is 65 for A and 66 for B. Hence, they both got converted to 65 and 66, got added as 131, joined with C, right? And that's how we got 131C. Now, do you think this will change anything? And if your answer was no, you might be right. Because it will just simply join regrow, considering that was also a text written in double quotes. I hope you understood these concepts. If you have any questions in mind that you'd like to clarify, I would want you to put them in the comments so that we can answer these questions together. If you like the video, please hit on that like button. And if you want more such videos, then subscribe. Have a good day.